Hello everyone, Happy New Year from beautiful Lake Atitlan. I hope you're having a wonderful time welcoming this new phase of your life and this new journey around the sun that we're collectively taking in our magical and mystical and beautiful spaceship of a planet. And it is in this time of the year that many of us sit down and embark on this process really of reflecting back on what has happened in this previous year and what is coming up, or what is it that we might want to create for ourselves and for others in this new phase of life that we step into. And this year it's been very, very interesting for me to take a closer look at who is the one that is doing all this goal setting and strategizing, at the strategist, as an archetype, as a part of ourselves. And I believe doing this step back is important because it is in that relationship with the strategist that, a lot of the success, really, of whatever goals and plans we set for ourselves lies. It's like, how do we relate to that part of ourselves? Do we trust it? Do we know how to engage with it in a healthy way so that whatever goals and strategies we set for ourselves will actually be something we really want to be accomplishing afterwards? Or is there any pain associated with accomplishing those that might actually hold us back from doing that because, we avoid pain, we avoid the struggle that it might bring? And so this has been very interesting for me, and that's why I felt like inviting you to join me in this exploration of the strategist as an archetype that is part of each and every one of us. And, and first of all, I feel like if you're wanting to do that, it's very important to look at the shadow sides of that strategist. What are the ways in which that part of myself has caused me pain, or my way of relating with it has caused me pain? And how might I shift that or adjust that in a way that I'm in more harmony with this strategist, so that whatever it is that he or she might set as goals and plans for her or himself, will actually come to fruition. And I feel like acknowledging the pain is a very big piece of this. And for me, it has had two specific flavors. The shadow side of the strategist has had two specific flavors. And the first one comes from this just unconscious model that I have inherited around what does it mean to have goals and plans and strategies, and what is that supposed to look like. And, this has expressed itself in the earliest part of my career, where I used to be, sitting down and writing this elaborate set of goals and visions and plans and tasks for myself, which were all about, what is this and how is it supposed to be, and were actually disregarding the experience I would have as I would go about accomplishing these tasks and goals. And as I would disregard the experiential side of it, what ended up happening was that I would just generate a lot of pressure and stress from myself as I would go about trying to accomplish the things I said I would want to accomplish. And as a result of that, I did not get the outcomes that I was hoping for, because it was just too much stress and pressure. So that has been a big piece to release for me, just this disembodied strategist kind of shadow. And the second shadow, has come as a response to this, which has been, around 3 years ago, I said, oh, this has been not working and painful, and fuck off, strategist, and just pushed that part of myself away from my identity. And I said, okay, I'm just going to go with the flow. I'm just going to enjoy whatever life brings, and just see where that takes me. And by doing that, I have generated another kind of shadow, where I was, just going about and exploring and flowing with life in a way that just did not allow me to connect to the part of me that would strategize and would decide exactly how it wants to have things and would actually go about and make them happen in that way. And because of this, there have been ways in which I have went out of alignment with what I want to be doing, just because the proactive part that would be like, oh, I want to make this happen, hasn't been part of the equation. This has just been like, I'm just going to keep on receiving, see what I receive. And so, this is another way in which the strategist can go into shadow. It's just saying, oh, I don't want that to be part of me. It is not part of me. I am a kind of a person that goes with the flow. So there we go. It is a strategy, but it is a strategy that is also dysfunctional because it does not produce the outcomes that we might want to be after. So, so having these two shadows in mind, I went into the next question that I would encourage you to ask yourself, which is, what is a healthy, energetic model of the strategist? How does that work? How does it look like? As other things in life where I felt like, okay, I need some kind of better model or healthier model of this, I decided to look at nature. And I decided to look at nature and ask nature, okay, what can you tell me about the strategist? And the first question that came up for me in that exploration was, is there really a strategist in nature? Because, I feel that the way I've seen this before has been, okay, there is the God model, the religion model, where it's like there is a strategist, there is a designer, he has made all of this, and you have to be grateful to him so that you get to enjoy it and feel guilty from time to time for being sinful and all kinds of things like that. And then there's the other model, which is like, oh, this is all randomness. This is just, a cause and effect kind of chain that just goes really randomly and just create this reality as we know it. That is the scientific model. And I was looking at, at the lake and the plants and the nature around me, and I was kind of wondering, like, what is the truth? Is there a strategist behind this reality, or isn't there? And I stood there with not knowing for quite a while until, I came to this question, well, how would I know? How would I know if there is a good strategist behind this or not? And I thought, well, a good strategist, the way you know he or she is there is by the outcome of what they have achieved. And if we look at the outcome, when we look at reality, the existence of ourselves, the existence of these plants and this nature and this mountains and even the cities and, everything that we are, I feel like it's a very, very kind of, disrespectful of nature to say, oh, you nature, you don't have strategy, but we humans, we do. And therefore, we are somewhere above you. And I feel it is an aspect of our separation with nature that really needs to go if we are to truly embody a healthy expression of the strategist within ourselves. And that would require an acknowledgement of an intelligence that is behind the creation of all of this reality, the creation of the outcomes that we get to experience as living beings. And that does not necessarily need to be God in our current or previous understanding of it. It can be just an acknowledgement of the intelligence of nature and her capacity to make strategies to achieve outcomes, and the way that might be expressing through us as human beings. And then you would ask, like, what would be the intention of this strategist, of this bigger strategist that we might be part of? And I don't know about you, but I have a sense that there is a lot of just an exploration of what can reality look like. what are the shapes and the patterns and the structures that survive and that last longer, and what might emerge as these patterns and strategies collapse and some other ones come up. So it's just this giant experiment that we are part of. Even as human beings, even as a species, we're part of this giant experiment of finding more resilient, more wise, more strong, more, effective ways of existing in this reality and existing in harmony with everything else there is in it. And I know this might sound a little bit philosophical, but as we kind of come to a place of experiencing ourselves as an expression of the strategist, that is an aspect of reality, we can also look at our own lives and we can look at, okay, what are the moments in which this bigger strategist has expressed through me and through my own embodiment of the strategist to create a certain outcome that has worked really well for myself and for others. And how does that work? What can I learn from the way in which this strategist has been working through me that I might want to bring into my process of strategizing for whatever I might want to do looking ahead? And I don't know about you, but for me, just this acknowledgement of this experiential perspective of, this strategist or, this nature, what it has intended for me to be doing on this earth is to be living and to be finding more and more ways to flourish and to live better in harmony with everything that is around me. And where have I experienced living? Where have I experienced the kind of way I would like to be living? The connection, the playfulness, the joy, the love. And how can I invite more of that? How can I create more of that in my life? Because it is through that focus that the strategist has created the best outcomes for me in this last year. And maybe for you, it's been a completely different way. But yeah, just really looking at, what is, this way in which you have already been creating beautiful outcomes in your life for yourself and for others. And how can you learn through that specific expression of the strategist and invite more of it, this healthy way in which it functions into your life and into your creative process and into your planning. And I hope that this exploration has been useful, and I'm looking forward to finding more ways of strategizing together and creating a better life that works for each of us and it works for all of us better as we journey around the sun for another year. And wishing you lots of love, lots of connection, lots of playfulness. And if there is any way in which I can support you in this process of figuring out how you would like to have your life, how you can align yourself to your purpose, I'm always happy to support you with my coaching work, which I'm going to be committing even more to this year because it brings me so much joy. Just coming out of 2 client calls this morning, it brings me so much joy doing this work and supporting people to come into healthier and healthier expressions of themselves and the purpose they hold. So thank you for listening and have a wonderful year.